Hello people, and welcome back to part 36 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. We were having a wonderful day. And before we start today's episode, I just need to throw out a quick thank you. A bunch of you in the Discord organised a super little sneaky Christmas care package as a little thank you for all the content this year. I just kind of have to say, I'm like really blown away by that. Really wasn't expecting it, and just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'll throw a picture up on the screen now of what you guys sent me, and yeah, it's kind of hard to put into words how I'm feeling about that. But yeah, I hope you all have a lush Christmas and a spicy New Year, and just like thank you. I can't really say much else. Really taken aback by it, and I'm so glad that you guys enjoy the community that's formed around the channel. It's you guys that make it, not me. Thanks. Again. Yeah, okay. Welcome to part 36 of Palaven, everyone. We did some nice little things on stream, came through here and added in some highway. There's some cycle highways kind of elevated up alongside the highway here. And it's made a lovely addition to some nice layers of height, of course. We're always championing that. Got the monorail flowing through some Palaven pines now. And this is getting a ton of use. So this flows from the Arts and Entertainment District, crosses right between the highways, and then drops down into a little park here, which still needs to be decorated. Also added in some Green Cities housing here too, which I think nice little addition to the main road. I think I'm happy with this. We'll come back and refine it a little bit of a later date. I am going to come through and sort out some of the jankiness. I've just not had time to do it yet, but you can see we're a little bit kind of swoopy with all these bridges. But I'll do this off camera eventually. But just look how much use it's getting. So many people just loving the cycle highway. It just drops down into the street here, into the cycle network, and then into the rest of the downtown, of course. Which is looking splendid now at night time. Super big fan of this view, super big fan, and I think you guys are as well. I think everyone's still enjoying Palaven. But in today's episode, we're going to be kind of working with this, I guess, little quadrant quarter, probably up until about this road marker here. We're going to be working on a downtown Green Cities network today, which should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to kind of getting involved in this. Got some nice tall skyscrapers in, almost an extension of Palaven without the canals. But, just kind of carrying on building this Green Cities view that we have right here. That's really what we're looking to do today. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Let's get started, shall we? So I think we're going to start out with redesigning this area's kind of mini transport hub. We're going to have some overground metro in here. And again, I think it's probably easier if we run with the overground kind of elevated one, the raised, because we're going to be needing to bring this metro line across the river into Palaven and hook it into here, which will kind of complete this metro line. And then this will also be a point for people to switch across to a monorail, which will lie here as well, and also trams, which will come in from this point. So let's begin to map out the road network around here, shall we? Let's bring kind of these harsher angles up. And then bring through a little road, and then we can flip our metro station to kind of face inward. And this will give us kind of a nice little focus point, right? Okay, and then the next kind of method of transport we want is going to be monorail station. And can we centralise this? Yes, we can, actually quite perfectly, which is very much appreciated. Let's bring across a little bit of a road network here. Come out from this one. There we go. And I'm actually wondering if we bring the trams into this central square. Let's plan for that. Okay, so I think we'll run with our tram lines like that. I'm going to throw off the angle. We could do this quite rigid and square. I guess I'll kind of see how I feel come the end. Or we can just kind of do it like that. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. We'll kind of see what the final product looks like, right? And then we want to grab this, move the stop into here, and then we'll plan some more stops. So it goes down to the ring metro there, And it would be nice if we could get it to stop right here by the highway. I think that'd be quite nice. And I think we'll throw in a stop there as well. Totally unnecessary. But I think it'll be a nice bit of symmetry. I think it will. And then let's have a little discussion about the spice. I think we're going to use the majority elevated zoo paths. Not elevated, just kind of regular zoo paths around here. Just because I think that they blend into the Green Cities theme quite nicely, I think. And we'll come across to these two inner ones, leaving 3 in the middle. And then we'll do something similar on kind of all the sides here. Make ourselves a little Green Cities tram plaza, maybe. Okay. How are we looking there? I think I'm quite happy with that. I think that's quite nice. Okay, splendid. Now we want to talk about the monorail. And then we can... Where's kind of the central point here? Would be this one. So we'll have that one right there. Which is going to be nice. It's not going to centralise with the paths, but it will centralise nicely with the metro station, which is kind of what I'm aiming for, really. And then let's have a little discussion about how we want the monorail to flow. So I imagine we'll probably come out to this point, and then we'll... do we want to actually come behind? Thinking I'm not too bothered about looning the zoning squares on that key arterial, but we can probably do some nice things with the Green Cities assets in order to kind of get this to flow around some of those Green Cities skyscrapers, which I think would be quite nice. And then we'll have the monorail flow like that. Okay. Nice little mini transport hub, right? Just a little centre focal point for all of our Green Cities sims to move in and out of the area without forcing their way through all these main roads that we've got around Palaven, right? They can just kind of come and go from this area. So because the angle is starting to shift on the ring road now, you can see because we kind of come off at this angle and the road network is slightly at a different kind of position. I'm going to come on with my road guideline and then we'll snap on to the keys, slight curve, and this way we'll save ourselves much more zoning squares. Kind of on this side, get some nice skyscrapers in there, and then we'll feed our cycle network back in here, and this is also cycle network as well. Super. So cycle network's hooked in here, so watch our first trams come in here. I think we might change the colour of these now. Black seems a little bit morbid for what I'm after, but we do actually have some people already using it to get on the cycle highway, which is nice. And we can do some really nice decorations around here as well. It's going to be nice to see this part of the downtown come to life, I think. I think it will be. So I'm really happy with these kind of repeated rows of the 1x2 Green Cities assets, and I think we'll kind of use this block to repeat this pattern and have kind of lots of terraced housing here. I guess that's what you would call it in England, kind of, you know, lots of very tightly packed in apartment blocks. Is the vibe I'm after, I think. Okay, it looks like if we come straight through here, junctions are a little close together, but these roads won't receive too much traffic, and I think we might only connect it at one side. So there we go. I don't think I mind that. If you're just going to have them kind of by themselves, they're a little bit underwhelming. But repeating them in a battery, almost like a little eco-housing project like this, right? Almost like condensed living. And people can like sign up for it. And they're going to get a nice little view over the transport square here as well. And I think just to kind of keep our themes repeating, we'll come through with our zoo path. And then just have it as a nice little border between the road and the housing. I think that's going to be quite a nice little addition. Of course, if you do want to generate these assets, you will need a organic and local produce specialization on a district, and then you want to paint out little tiles like this, just 1x2s, and then these will generate in. If you do all this, you're going to get kind of 2x2s and 2x3s, so you have to stagger the pattern like that if you want to have them in. And then once one fills in, you can come in and fill in the next one. Do people come in to use the trams here to get back to the transport hub? Which again is just fantastic. So nice to see. Thank you. Okay, so let's grab some more roads, shall we? And then again, I think we'll keep vast majority of it as all cycle network. Let's get everyone cycling around this part of time, right? Keep it linked in a few different places. Then we'll kind of keep parallel with the road here. And then we can come back in to the cycle network there. Okay, we'll free up some of the traffic lights on this junction too. Maybe add some one-way systems in. We'll see how this arterial handles the traffic flow. Okay, so noise pollution around the transport hub, what are we looking at? Yeah, not too bad. I think we're going to be okay here. So we'll kind of draw in the road as the marker. Let's go for this one right here. Okay. And then in terms of the higher skyscrapers, I want these to almost be boxed in within these little grids, right? So we're going to come off road guideline. We want grid on. And let's go for right here. And we'll just start to draw in some small little 4x4 cubes within these areas. And then hook them in. And then, of course, if you're playing without green cities, without find it, and plot the Growables, you can just draw in a nice big old 4x4 within this area and allow it to level up. Kind of a very cool looking one like this, right? It's very immediate. Super awesome looking asset. And then place maybe a couple of little smaller ones around the edge of this. Maybe like one here. And then another one there. And then where we have some very awkward room, we're just going to come through again with our zoo path and grid and allow people to move between these little skyscrapers and then possibly maybe take this one away. And then this will allow us to come in with some smaller tree spice, and I think why we're green cities and very kind of cute and eco, we'll come through with just a nice little repeated flower tree pattern. Keep switching them up as we move through. A couple of different designs we can get involved with these little colourful trees. And then we can just have this repeating like this, and then we'll come around this corner. Let's keep changing it up. And then before we know it, we'll generate, you know, a little pattern that we haven't really seen before. That's going to add really nicely to the downtown Green Cities district. I hope. Hope it does. Hope it does. Okay. Something like that. One of the taller skyscrapers is kind of a focal point. And then we can almost make these tiny little high density residential parks, right? That just appear as kind of the height of this area, you know? We can see it's developing its own layers of height too, especially with this asset. It almost has like internal layers of height. There's this little like lip that it's got here. It's a nice asset. I think it's similar to one. Is it this one? I think it's the one that's grown up naturally in Palaven, isn't it? Yeah, so 4x4, high density, residential, with green city specialization. Once it hits its max level, is actually a really nice looking asset. It's very cute. Okay, let's carry on mapping out a few more of these, shall we? So we've got a couple of these 3x3s that would fit in nicely, and I think we'll throw one in here. And we can almost get some nice little kind of inner facing ones here. Let's go for this aesthetic, see what we feel. Kind of have them facing all in, right? Again, very kind of open and airy and green and lush and cute. There's going to be a lot of repeated phrases in this episode, I think. Everything's going to be very green and open air. I've got just kind of a feeling. And then I think what we will do with kind of this central street is include kind of all of our service buildings, our kind of green cities commercial in here as well. So we'll draw this out and let it grow organically. And I guess this is going to be... This will be the point where we cut off, I feel. If anybody wants to name the Green Cities District, as always, do throw it down in the comments. And I will name it in about 4 episodes' time when I actually get around to doing them. And then we'll bring it down here as well. A little bit like that. Of course, Green City specialisation, please. Let's go for commercial and then organic and local produce. And we might as well throw on the housing one here as well. Because we probably will do a little bit of organic zoning just so we can kind of have something here that hasn't been kind of placed by Find It. So a nice big batch of commercial on the main street, and then we'll come through and insert our service buildings. So we'll of course have a community school, and let's kind of see how we've got a little bit of space to spare here. So I think what we'll do is we'll grab ourselves just a little road like this, connect it in, and then we'll just separate our school away and then remove these commercial zonings along the side. Into a little bit something like that, I think. And then again, keeping those repeating themes of my zoo path with decorations kind of bordering the roads. Kind of see it coming together now. Lots of repeatable themes in here. And then let's of course throw in maybe some of the Green Cities kind of park assets, like the Tropical Garden. Of course these guys want a high school as well. And of course I think we have to use the Institute of Creative Arts, right? And I guess there's a perfect little spot for it right here. Not sure how I feel about that though. It's kind of right next to this little highway slip right here. I guess if we can bring our little repeatable part pattern through here. We can also hook it into this little park area. And then we can even bring our gates up alongside this too. Not too bothered about this being a super effective park life cheese in the downtown. But we can box it off nicely with a little bit of fence spice. Very eager to kind of see a monorail cart come over here. There we go. Yes. That's the spice sample we're going to generate, I think, isn't it? That's what we're after. That's what we're after. Okay, so let's keep those commercial vibes going. Well, where's the district run to? Okay, so this is kind of the last block here. Is there any unique buildings you want to include here? I'm pretty sure there is. I think we'll run... Could try and include the ziggurat. I feel like this kind of needs like a very special build around it though. You can't just have it on a road like this, it's illegal. I guess we could include it here somewhere. I think I'm quite keen to have the pyramid of safety in here actually. Kind of up and alongside the highway. I think as you're kind of driving down this area, it's very noticeable, isn't it? Stands out a lot. And then can we centralise the pyramid here? We can. And then we can have that one connect up like that. And again, might as well keep it all cycle highway. Allows people to flow around this area a lot easier. Okay. Let's look at some service buildings while we're on the main street. Do have some of the nicer European ones now. How do these look? It's very rare I use them. But I think that's a nice little green city. It's kind of looking at actually the European police station. Little table and chairs outside. Okay. And then the fire. about one of the larger ones. Okay. Absolutely want to have a look at this one right here. So I want to start building up for layers of height now, you know, for these kind of taller ones that are behind. And there's a couple of different assets that I know would fit in nicely here. We can go for some of these kind of taller. Some of these taller flats here, maybe. No? Could even come back and use some of these. I think these would look really nice actually, especially this like wood paneling that they have on the front. We descend down a size. How close are we to the noise pollution now? Let's maybe take away this last one. And then again what we'll do is bring in our kind of palette pattern, I guess, in this area. And then allow them to flow behind. And underneath the monorail. Which again will be really cool. Once we get some people actually walking on these paths. We can even bring through a little connection into the tram road there. And then maybe where we have some spacing that we know we're not going to want any zoning. And just so you know, there isn't zoning everywhere. Let's come through with some nature reserve fence. It's very green cities, isn't it? Couple of patches of overgrowth. Again, we've done this 1,000 times before. We all know what's coming. And then maybe just to change it up, a redwood, because I think we use the Palaven pines and the yews on the conifers everywhere. So let's introduce a little bit of redwood action. Let's please. And I think with these spaces here as well, we will just plop in, or draw in rather. We're not plopping here. Just some little commercial lots, because they just work so nicely as decoration, the Green Cities commercial assets, you know, especially when you get these little markets. It's just really nice. Super big fan of it. Yeah, okay. Maybe not these ones. But we'll leave them in for right now. We will see what appears. And maybe some in these little smaller spaces as well. Up alongside the metro. Really using it to kind of satisfy demand. Okay, but how is kind of green Main Street looking here right now? It's starting to develop a vibe, I think, isn't it? And I think what we'll do here is actually come through with road guideline and look to generate some little waterfront houses maybe. Maybe some of those little flat ones. I know the assets that I'm after here. It's these ones, right? These ones, right? Yeah. Just a couple of little kind of flats here. Nothing too serious. And then maybe one in the middle to break the pattern. And then repeat them this side as well. It's like a little block of housing. It's very mirrored. It's very obvious. And then what we'll allow this space to do here, I think we'll come through with nature reserve path with decorations. And then we'll just use this as an opportunity to transition into some of this ring road green belt stuff that we've done in different points around the city as well. I think what we will do actually as well is just use kind of this barren land here. And maybe even up until this point is a good spot to do it. We'll bring a ring road, slip road up here so people can enter from this side. Then that'd be quite nice. Again, to round off kind of the edge of the metro. Or maybe just come for a very obvious repeated tree pattern. Just kind of fill in the edges because you can see where the concrete texture ends and the grass begins. It's very harsh. It's not kind of my bag. So if you have a surface painter, it's an excellent excuse to use it. You can really kind of tie up areas like that. But I think a very heavy repeated tree pattern around the metro, including some commercial zoning in there as well, will help it blend in a little more organically, I hope. Okay. I do really enjoy building with Green Cities. Certainly one of the better expansions. If you haven't picked it up, I highly recommend Green Cities. There is an instant gaming link down below where you can find cheap Cities Skylines DLCs, and it does support the channel. So if you're missing any of them, do go and check it out. So I do want to continue the idea of bordering up layers of height up until these taller skyscrapers behind. And there's a couple of little ones that we could possibly squeeze in here too. Let's go for some of these. Not too bothered about massively heavy repeated patterns here. Just keep mooching through. Nice to get a very almost like Russian doll effect here, isn't it? But I think that's alright. I think I'm okay with that. Then maybe start moving down a couple of different sizes and see what we come up with. So this is what I'm looking to generate, right? A very kind of green side on one street and commercial on the other. Seeing this cycle network come together now too. It's very exciting. Just added in our little ring road slip road now. Oh, there's the metro. Very nice. Oh, it's nice to see people coming down this side too. There he goes. So now people on this side can use this as a faster way around the downtown. I just added in some of this repeated Green Cities palette, just so people know that they're entering the Green Cities district, right? Let's continue this little kind of block of flats here, little block of high density residential. Now we'll carry on with our cycle network, bring it behind the service buildings here, and then this is where we're going to end the Green Cities district, and then we'll come through here during the detail and time lapse and add in some little Green Cities rock gardens, I think. Notice these little open areas that I think will help really tie this area together. Come through little bits of overgrowth and some smaller rocks. The nature reserve fences work really well for this. They just tie in so nicely with the Green Cities district. Can see how we're getting that aesthetic there now. Really liking the monorail kind of flowing through. Should we have a little... We haven't had any nighttime spice yet. My apologies, guys. My apologies. Let's find out how we're starting to look now. Yes. That's what we're after, right? Oh, with the monorail too. There it goes. The little pyramid of safety. It's got like a little beacon on top. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. Okay. It's starting to come together now, I feel. It's on its way. It's on its way. Okay, so let's see what we're getting in here. Yeah, so I'm happy with these. I think we'll make a lot of these historical, pretty much at level 1. Because yeah, I'm looking to build up to these layers of height, and a lot of these kind of lower level ones are all a bit of what I'm after. There, we got some little bit of sickness there. Be too close to the monorail maybe. Yeah, he might be a little bit too close. Let's take him away. Maybe replace it with a little bit of commercial zoning. Just so it borders up, and then maybe these two as well. And I imagine eventually I want to kind of introduce a campus that has a lot of monorail flowing through it. So we'll probably have a campus up against this shoreline here at some point, maybe the city campus. So we see we have a kind of very immediate jump in height on this side, whereas here we're a lot more gradual. So we want to kind of replicate this little Russian doll effect on this side here now. Got lots of nice zoning, and again, I think it's a nice opportunity for some more organic zoning, at least where we have these big solid 4x4s. And then I imagine we'll probably have this one as a little bridge as well. That'll flow over, kind of have it come this side and flow in that direction, so we'll leave ourselves just a little bit of dead-end road to remind ourselves that we want to actually cross over here. Which would be nice to see some kind of bridge infrastructure flowing over there, the ring metro. Very similar to what we've got going on here, you know. How busy these cycle highways are, man. So satisfying to see. Cycle everywhere, please. Okay, and we're still flowing nicely here at the junction too. Everyone's just flowing wonderfully. Fantastic, and down here we're still good as well. Yeah, roundabout's still coping, we're all okay. And we got some people using the little bridges now to cross over those highway roads. Some of the little cycle bridges. Again, with that pallet. Apologies for an extreme use of the word pallet this episode. But I hope I'm getting my point across. I really am. Yeah, we'll have to come to something to a point. And then maybe we'll just stop it there. Take this fence away. And then we have some space for another little rock garden. Smallest of overgrowth through the middle. And some smaller trees. Okay, we're getting a lovely little view from the ring metro here now. With all these layers of height building. And I think with this space here that we have free, again, possibly a little parkland, some more greenbelt action, get some pathways flowing over to this side of the downtown when we hit this tile. No, very similar to what we did over here. And we kind of have the green belt between the ring road and the actual road infrastructure. Is what we're looking to generate, I think, isn't it? Okay. How are we looking from over here now? Let's actually check out the view from Palaven. Yeah, so you can just see it's like an extension of Palaven, right? You can see those layers of height developing. Very similar to how the downtown is constructed. Very crawls up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hook this in, and then we'll come back and see what this transport hub looks like with its metro connection active. Okay, so a very rough and ready bridge. We'll tidy this up once we hit that next tile, of course. We'll see some people arrive by the metro now. I imagine this is going to be a super busy station with people wanting to get into the downtown from where this line runs. But it'll be nice to see some folks who are kind of coming and going from this point now. Love the way the monorail comes down here. Super big fan of that. Okay guys, but that does feel like a good place to jump into a detailed time lapse. We've got some little spaces to fill out here, come through some greenbelt patterns to flow around the monorail, and also tidy up some of these little empty spaces that we've got between the highway and the rest of the road infrastructure. But yeah, nice little varied green cities district. Lots of layers of height in here, especially with that monorail. Oh yes. Certainly the spice of the build, I think, is the monorail flowing between the buildings here. Absolutely. Yes, please. Okay, guys, but back in a minute. And let's detail up, shall we? Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. If you've enjoyed the video, a like below is always appreciated. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Just again a quick thank you for that little care package that you guys sent to me. Just over the moon. So happy. Thank you for all the support this year. It really is you guys that make the community, and yeah, I'm just here playing Cities Skylines. You are the people that form that community. I'm just so happy and full of love. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Really happy with this build as well, in other news. Nice little collection of Green Cities assets. The transport hub is mega busy now that the metro is hooked in. Yeah, cute little transport hub build as a little side bonus for this episode as well. I do hang around for the rest of the outro Taj. I'm sure this thing will look tremendous at night time with the rest of the downtown as the backdrop. And we're very nearly at that next milestone now as well, where we get helicopters and a new tile. So lots more exciting builds to come, I think, with Palaven. We will absolutely return here in a stream and continue to tweak and design and change assets out as we please. So I'll see you on Sunday. Otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.